Hi folks, it's a while since I've posted, simply because life's been getting in the way. But I've been thinking about how much I'm influenced by names of tobacco. Particularly, say, with Dunhill. I smoke Dunhill nightcap before I go to bed sometimes. I smoke early morning pipe in the morning. I smoke aperitif before a meal or after a meal. And that's purely on the name, not on the tobacco itself. Typically, they are different, different amounts of nicotine and maybe different tastes and flavours, but not so that they could be called a morning smoke, an afternoon smoke, or an evening smoke as such. And I was thinking about that with Halloween and with Christmas. Not so much in this country, in the UK, because we don't have the same blends that you have in the States. But I've noticed how for Halloween, a lot of you smoke specific Halloween blends. Like Haunted Bookshop, for example. Like some of the pumpkin blends. Or a name that particularly refers to either a horror story or a ghost story or that kind of thing. And at Christmas, how many smoke a Christmas blend. And I think we do it because of the name. The name influences. And we probably don't smoke them at any other time except at those festivals, or very rarely. So you might be thinking, well, what difference does it make? As long as we enjoy it, that's the main thing, surely, and it is. Except when it comes to comparing what the Peterson blend, the Chariton blend, and the old Dunhill blends were like. Because I think one of the things that does influence us is the Dunhill name. When we see the Peterson name on it, we can't quite believe that it's the same tobacco. Maybe we think that it tastes differently. Certainly the Peterson blends a younger tobacco because all the old Dunhill brand was sold, so they've had to start a new production line. But it's the same production lines that made the Dunhill blend. It's the same blend that they put together. And the Chariton blends, and I think you've got a copy blend in the States made by a firm, we've tended to compare them with the Dunhill blends. And that's natural because they did come out as sort of being the near thing to it. But in reality, I think they're better chosen as separate blends. And it's when we approach them as separate blends that we come to like them. We come to like them for different reasons about the taste and about the blend. So in fact, we haven't just got one range of tobacco, and in case of Chariton, the copies of that same tobacco, we've got twice as many blends. If we take them, forgetting that they're supposed to be copies, because being a copy, they're not necessarily as close as they could be. It's the advertising that we're influenced by. And I'm certainly influenced by it. One of my favourite blends is Black House, because it's very similar to the old Sobranie blends and White Knight. In fact, they're very, very good blends, very good copies, but they're not the same. There's a difference. And I think even the blender would say, no, it's not the same, it's as near as I could get with today's tobacco, with what's available today. And that made me think especially about the tobaccos I choose to smoke at set times. Am I depriving myself of the pleasure of a smoke at a different time that might be better? Just trap my finger in the lighter. Doesn't it remind you of our Lord's suffering? Anyway, I just throw it out as something to think about. Does the name of a tobacco, of a blend, add to its flavour? Or add to the smoke that we get? It could do. There's nothing wrong with that. Advertising always works. We might like to think that we're not influenced by it, but in reality we are. Favourite blends and popular blends, you just have to look at some of the posts that we do in the YTPC. Somebody will do a review on a blend, and then we get several reviews on the same blend. We have this thing about the esoterica tobaccos, and they are very good. But do they deserve the reputation that we give them? Or are we influenced by each other? Is that why people are willing to pay some ridiculous prices for blends? I feel sorry for those that have stored their Dunhill, that grabbed Dunhill and hope to make a profit from it, because now those blends are available to us again. Of course, there'll always be the argument, yeah, well, I'm selling an older, an aged Dunhill, not a modern Peterson Dunhill. But I don't know that there's that much difference. We're constantly told that tobacco gets better with age. and certainly certain tobaccos do. Virginias and that kind of thing will mellow. Aromatics don't. And I'm not sure that Latakia or some of the other tobaccos do. Some of the other individual tobaccos do. So are we aging tobaccos in a mistaken idea, or expecting them to be better than they are? Now, I can't answer that fully, because the aged blends that I've tasted are those that I've been given by other people, and some of them are really good. But some of them I've sort of thought, well, I can't taste the difference. Now, that could be because I'm 70 years old and my tongue's worn out with talking, my taste buds, and my nose is worn out with years of sniffing. So how can I expect to be able to know the difference? So what am I really saying? I'm not saying that anybody who ages tobacco is wrong. I'm not saying anybody who prefers a named blend is wrong, or to smoke a particular blend at a particular season. But I suppose what I am saying is, let's not be too influenced by the name to the extent that we maybe miss something that's better, or to the extent that we put a reputation on a blend that it doesn't quite deserve. I recently got some Capstan Blue because it's the blend that Tolkien used to smoke. But in reality, what I'm smoking is not what Tolkien smoked. It was a totally different taste and flavour to it when he smoked it. Because tobacco's changed, the blends have changed over the years. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'll finish with a joke. And it's a corny joke. It's sexist. It says blondes are stupid. But then the trouble is with jokes that make fun of different races, different religions, different groups, is that they're funny. Anyway, there's this blonde and she's constantly going out to the mailbox. And her neighbour sees her this morning and she goes out and she looks in the mailbox and there's nothing there, so she closes it down and goes inside. And then half an hour later comes out, looks in the mailbox, nothing there, goes inside. And she does this about 6 times. And the neighbour sort of says to her, "You must be expecting a very important parcel or some important mail." And she, "No, I'm not, but there's something wrong with my computer." And the bloke says, "Why? You know, what's wrong with your computer?" And she, "Well, it keeps telling me I've got mail."